Good morning, everybody. It is day 3, the final session of the Emotional Health Recharge. And thanks for watching. If you're here this morning, grab your coffee. We're going to have a good chat. I have another amazing guest today that you guys are all going to love. Someone that I've actually known for a very long time, and she is super awesome. She's just like magic. So I can't wait for you guys to meet her. I'm super excited. And today we're going to talk about, I see Jen. Hi, Jen. Good morning. Let me see if I can send her a little request here. Let's see if that works. We'll get my friend Jen on here. We can start our talk. Good morning.
Yay!
Good morning.
Good morning! There we go.
So excited that you're here.
Me too. I'm going to use my favorite filter.
Oh, I don't have a filter. You're looking beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So Jen she's an energy healer and she's a business coach, and she works mostly with spiritual entrepreneurs that are working to grow their business, and she uses her spiritual abilities to kind of help her clients tap into their spiritual abilities to kind of help them progress in their business and in their life. And I always learn something when I talk to Jen, and I think Jen does a really good job of touching on like the spiritual side of things, but also explaining it in a way that even if you have no idea about anything like that, you're definitely able to understand. So I'm super excited about today.
Thanks, Meg. Yeah.
All right. So I will let Jen introduce herself and let her know like what we're going to be talking about today.
Hey, everyone. I am Jen Navarro, and Meg is right. Yes, I am a coach. I work with spiritual entrepreneurs and creatives, and the turn my business has taken is helping you, right? If you're a spiritual entrepreneur or creative entrepreneur, get known for what it is that you do. All of us have the ability to get known in our industry for what it is that we do. And after having worked with many, many celebrities and brands and helping them to essentially like create a brand that is now known like through households across the United States and across the world as well. This is what I want to help spiritual entrepreneurs and creatives do with their business. And yes, I do use many spiritual tools. I also use traditional life coaching tools. There are a lot of tools. There's a lot of tools that you get to use and like really tap into like the gifts that you have within yourself. And something that we're going to talk about today, Megan has asked me to speak on how to take control, right, of our emotions, like our emotional lives. And this is like one of the basic tools, one of the first tools that I teach my clients, so that their emotions don't stand in the way between what it is that they want to do in their life, not just in their businesses, but in their life with their families, with their friends, at work, right? Like if you know how to process emotion properly and allow it to be what it is and not make it bigger than what it actually is, it's just so much easier to flow through life in that way.
Yeah. That's awesome. Okay. So wait, before we get into this, I'm recording it. So on my camera, it's just cutting the top of your head off a little bit. If you can like,
let me see if I can adjust.
I just want to see your whole beautiful face.
Thank you. I love that.
Got it.
There it is.
There you are. Love it. All right. So today you are going to start, basically we're going to talk about how to deactivate triggers. So everyone has different triggers in their lives. This series was basically set up with healthcare workers in mind, but everything that we're talking about can be applied to anybody in any situation. Once you have like the technique and the tools, you can apply it to however works best for you. So,
yes. So we're going to start by talking about what emotions are.
Okay.
Once we understand what they are, you can begin to deactivate. It's beginning to deactivate through understanding, right?
Okay.
I think what a lot of us do when we hit up against an emotion that we don't like, something that feels like stress or disappointment or frustration or anger, right? Like these emotions that are very uncomfortable for us to feel in the body.
Yeah.
We tend to resist the emotion or like push the emotion down. Like
Right.
imagine if you were like holding a beach ball and you're just trying to like hold it underwater. And this, I imagine this is probably helping or happening for a lot of healthcare workers right now
Yeah.
because you have to go immediately from whatever it is that you were doing into the emergency room, if that's where you work, or like you're dealing with it on a constant basis with everybody coming in and getting treatment and like you have no time to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
What emotions actually are the sensations that we feel in the body that are being caused by what it is that we are thinking in our minds.
Okay.
So let me break that down a little
Yeah.
bit more. So say I'm thinking like this is never going to get better.
Right.
Just like when you think that thought, if you think it right here with me right now, you could probably feel something going on in the body. Like this is never going to get better. Ooh, that to me, like, what does it feel like to you, Meg? What does it
Yeah,
feel
it's
like to
like
you?
my shoulders get heavy. It's like a weight. You're like, oh gosh, like what do I do with this? Like, how am I
Right,
going to get out of this kind of a thing?
right. And for
Yeah.
most of us, we just like take that sensation or that emotion and we push it aside. We're like, I can't think that right now. I just gotta like, let me just keep moving, keep it
Right.
moving.
Yep.
So what that emotion is it's coming from that thought of it's never going to get better. You feel it as a sensation in the body, like the heaviness in your shoulders that Meg was just describing, or like a heaviness in your heart, maybe. Maybe you feel like you're moving a little bit more sluggishly. And so this whole experience that you're having in that moment that's the emotion, right?
Okay.
The emotion is coming from the thought and it's transferring into the body as a body sensation. So
Got it.
when you feel that in the body and you decide to do whatever you want to do with it, either ignore it or deal with it later or never deal with it at all, a lot of these hits of emotion get stored in the body, right?
Okay.
Like our body, imagine it's like you're piling, like it could be like little sheets of tissue paper. Like imagine you're just putting little sheets of tissue paper into like a little pile. You can't, it doesn't weigh anything at first. It doesn't seem like
Yeah.
it's a big deal at first, but eventually it starts to pile up and pack higher and higher and get heavier and heavier, and you start to really feel it. So the heaviness you feel in your shoulders, it almost becomes like this sensation that you're used to feeling. So you walk around with it all the time, right? Like it
That's
never leaves
true.
you,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
So if you have this going on, you might not even realize the amount of stress that you're under. You might not realize the amount of like heavy emotion that you're carrying on your shoulders, thinking that it is normal and it's natural and like I'll deal with it later, right? But what does I'll deal with it later even mean? It means I'll never deal with it,
Right.
right?
It's just like
Right.
an excuse in the moment. Like it's fine. I'll do it
Yeah,
later.
yeah, yeah. It's fine. It's okay. Whatever. So what I want to tell you is that your emotion, it doesn't, so many of us think that it means something about the situation, like something's going terribly, terribly wrong. Like something's going terribly wrong, but I don't have time to deal with it, so let me deal with it later. So
Yeah.
it's like two things going on, right? Like something's going terribly wrong, but it's okay. I'll deal with me later. Let me deal with whatever this thing is now,
Right. Right.
right?
Right. Yep.
This goes for you healthcare workers, anybody in like the service industry. I don't mean like waitresses and waiters, but you too. Like anybody who's a coach, anybody who's like a therapist, a healer. It's so easy for us to forget that if we don't take care of us, then there's nobody to take care of everyone that we're taking care of,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I'm just making a case for why you should take into account what it is that you're feeling and how it is that you can process what it is you're feeling as you're going through your day so that it doesn't become a pile up of stuff that you have to deal with later.
Yeah. You want to address it and then move on instead of just pushing it aside and not doing anything about it.
Yeah. And Meg, if there's anything that you think I could be even more clear on, let me know because I want to help clarify.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
that makes sense to me for sure.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So now that we have like this base understanding of what emotion is, right? It's the sensations we're feeling in the body coming from thought. It's the vibration. If you're like into spirituality or energetics, it's the vibration that you feel in the body coming from thought, coming from belief, coming from whatever your perception is suggesting to you, right? Like my perception is suggesting that this is never going to end. And I just want to say, like, that is not true or false. It's just a sentence running through your brain. Your thoughts are sentences running through your brain, and whether you believe them or not, it's up to you.
Yeah.
But if you've never heard this before, it might sound like way out there. Like, how can my thoughts be false if I believe them? Just because you believe something doesn't mean it's true. So,
right. I remember you saying that before, but yeah, I think it's good that other people hear that too, because people think, like, if you're having the same negative thought over and over and over again, you do start to believe it. You're like, oh my gosh, this is actually true. And a lot of times, like, when you're in the middle of it, you don't really think to be like, but is this actually true? Like, am I just thinking this just because this is what I've always thought? Or is this actually fact and what's really happening?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So with that thought, right, we're just going to use this thought as the perfect example of like, okay, if I keep on thinking that this is never going to get better, especially if I'm like in the healthcare field, it's very easy. It's very easy to believe that thought right now. That's why I want to give it to you.
Yeah.
Right. Overwhelmed. That's the emotion, right?
Mm-hmm.
We can do one of two things to help alleviate what it is that we're feeling in the body. We can start poking holes in that thought, in that belief. Like, how is that belief not true? How is this actually not true? Right?
Okay.
So if you have the thought, this is never going to get better, starting to poke holes in it looks like, well, one day, is it possible that it could get better? Yeah. Right?
Right.
Just like asking the very basic questions. Okay, if one day it could possibly get better, is it possible that that one day is closer than we might think it is? Is it possible? Right. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so you're feeling a difference in your body right now, right? I can see it in your face, Meg.
Yeah.
So you're literally climbing a little ladder of like, is it possible that this thought doesn't hold as much truth as I originally believed it to hold, right? And you just allow yourself to question the thought and continue climbing the tiny ladder. And you'll start to feel that emotion lift in the body. So that's one way.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to give you another way.
Yep.
If you can't get to the thought, if you all you know is that you feel shitty and you're like,
this sucks.
This sucks. And if you are at work and if you're like, I got to get this out of my system right now, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to allow yourself to excuse yourself for a moment. Go to a bathroom stall, find a janitor's closet, go somewhere alone. Let yourself do this. Give yourself the permission to step away. I know that this is the permission part is a big part because my cousin works in the healthcare industry and like there's this idea that you always have to be available, right? You always
like
have to be available.
So like a huge sense of responsibility. You're caring for other people's life.
Yes. So unless you're being called into an emergency room at that moment and you're starting to feel that dread, allow yourself to first excuse yourself, give yourself permission to go somewhere, like I said, alone. And then if you can't do it right at that moment, remember to do this later, right? Take note. Okay, I feel shitty right now. I'm going to take care of myself later, but make like a date in your head to do it. And when I say a date, like after I'm done with the emergency room, I'm going to allow myself to go into the bathroom later and do this exercise. Okay.
Right. Or in an hour when I have lunch, this is what I'm going to do.
Yes, perfect.
Got it.
Exactly. So what you're going to do is you're going to, you could do this sitting or standing. I suggest sitting. So maybe you're like sitting on the toilet, whatever, wherever you are, like let yourself get a little bit relaxed and close your eyes. And what you're going to do is you're going to let yourself find the sensation in your body. Know what emotion it is that you're feeling, right? Say you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed. We can use like...
Let me close my eyes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Okay.
So you're thinking the thought, right? Like, this is never going to get better.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just help you get that emotion back in the body. Okay. Now you're like, this is never going to get better. You start feeling it in your heart. You probably start feeling it in your shoulders. Meg, do you know where it is that you're feeling it right now?
Mm-hmm.
Can you locate it? Tell me where it is.
It's in like my shoulders and across my shoulder blades, like in my neck.
Okay. So you're going to take a deep breath and exhale. Good. Now you're going to tell me attributes of that sensation as like color or texture or temperature or size or shape. You're going to make it so that it feels like visual, like you can have like tangible. You're going to make that sensation tangible for yourself. So Meg, if you can describe like what shape is it for you right now? What shape are you experiencing?
I feel maybe like an oval because I feel like it's taking up kind of like my whole like shoulder blade area. So maybe like an oval. I feel like I'm seeing like a red or an orange, like reddish orange. And it definitely feels like warm.
Okay, good. A reddish orange warm oval. Take a deep breath
And like
again.
kind of like tight.
Okay, good, good. Take a deep breath again. Continue to watch it. Notice if there's any sort of rhythm that's happening within the oval, around the oval. Is there a rhythm? Is there any movement with this oval?
I feel like it might be like moving down farther.
Okay, good. Take another deep breath in. Good. Did anything change with this oval right now?
I feel like it's not like not that I'm really seeing, but I just feel like the red is less intense, like it's more orangey, like orangey yellow.
Beautiful. And is it as big? Is it taking up as much
No,
space?
I feel like before it was like my whole shoulder. Now it's like in between my, I guess my shoulder blades, but it's definitely not as intense.
Okay, good. Now you're going to take another breath. And when she's taking these breaths, what she wants to be doing is watching it transform, shift shape, change. Like she's watching for the change. Go ahead, take another deep breath. Good. Good. What do you notice now? Good. About
Like
that shape.
gray.
Good. Does it have any weight? Does it have any sensation with it?
It's definitely not as tight as before, for
Mm-hmm.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like my shoulders were hurting. They're like
Mm-hmm.
definitely more relaxed now.
Yeah. So you're seeing,
Yeah.
is it the same shape that it was
No, it's
before?
like
Is it
small.
oval
It's like
still?
a maybe like more circular. It's like this is crazy.
Good, good. You're seeing it. Okay, not as circular as it was before. It's still there a little bit. What percentage is left? What percentage
I
is
mean,
left?
it's like I can barely. I'm like really trying to hold on to it, but it's. I mean, even with like 4 or 5 breaths,
Okay, take
so different.
one more breath. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, can you see it? Is it there?
Not really. No.
Okay, you could come back to me then.
That's cool.
So that's what I call my emotional processing technique. And whenever you are in that spot or that place where you feel really like crazy, like I can't get a hold of myself, this is the exercise. This is the exercise that I give to my people, my clients. Just let yourself. Here's the thing, right? We think that if we let ourselves feel the feeling, that it's going to stay with us forever, but it's really the reverse. Once we let ourselves feel the feeling gets a chance to do what it's going to do inside the body, and it
Right.
gets to be released. You get to let it go. It doesn't have to stay inside the body any longer. It has no purpose there anymore.
Exactly. Yeah, and you're like, I like when you describe it, and when you're like really picturing it. It's almost like you're it's like you're separate from that thing. It's not like totally consuming and taking over your entire being. It's like, okay, this is just this one thing that I'm focusing on that is separate from me.
That's it. That's exactly it. What you're doing is you're showing yourself that I'm not this emotion. I'm not stress. I'm experiencing stress. I'm not overwhelmed.
Yes.
I'm experiencing overwhelm. And I can allow myself to experience it. It's not a bad thing. And so you end up feeling better. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
so I hope you guys use this, man. This is like some of my best stuff.
Dude, everybody use it for sure. And I like that you can do it anywhere. Like, especially, if you're at work and you're super stressed at work, then whatever. And it only takes a couple minutes. It's not like you need to excuse yourself for 30 minutes.
Right.
You
exactly.
know?
Right.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's like do it as many times as you need to.
Yeah.
Nobody knows how many times you have to go to the bathroom.
Maybe you drink a lot of water that day.
Exactly.
Perfect. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I love this. Thank you. I think this is going to be super helpful for a lot of people.
Same. I'm going to steal this from you and put it on my page too, if you could send me the video.
Yeah, I will. Awesome. Okay. Anything else that you want to share with anyone? If anyone wants to go check out Jen, I'm going to tag her here. You can go. You're definitely going to learn something. Super fun. She shares all kinds of awesome stuff. And it's not directly related to this, but she just came out with her own podcast. If you want to talk about it.
Yeah. My co-host and I, Lauren Ciesco, just launched Spiritual Boss Shit podcast. It's very, it moves really quickly, but if you start from episode 1 and then allow yourself to listen through the episodes, you'll learn quickly too. So if you're interested in it's for entrepreneurs, but it can apply anywhere in your life if it's something like just a project you want to start. You know what I mean? We all think that there's a specific way we have to do it, a specific way to do the thing to make it right, to let it happen correctly or whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
It just helps you to sift out through whatever thoughts you've got tangled up in your brain to help you just really reach into your intuition and let your intuition start guiding you in whatever business or project it is that you want to start.
Perfect. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you for spending a little bit of your morning with me. I always love seeing you.
Thanks, Meg. Me too. I feel the same way about you.
Good. Thank you. All right. Well, then I'm going to share this with everybody, and everyone go check out Jen's stuff. You're going to love it.
Thank you.
Thanks,
bye, everybody.
See you soon.
See you soon.
Bye.